Hey everyone, it's Brad with the ES Daily Chart Review. So this is for January 25th, 2023. I'm going to change it up slightly from what I did yesterday, but the main thing is we're going to just stick with one view instead of having my normal trading chart up where I have multiple charts. And I cleared all the drawings. So what we'll do is go through a couple of time frames and break down sort of what I was expecting when things were happening, and then what ended up happening, and where you would find setups using ICT theory, what you would be looking for when it came to targets, stops, and all that stuff. Of course, this is hindsight, so it's much easier to do once all the candles are there. But yeah, there were a couple of things that I got right today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to trade much today. Had a pretty busy work day. So was keeping an eye on the chart, was chatting in Discord when I could, made a couple of silly plays, ended up losing some money, but yeah, I mean, I think we got a couple lessons from today, and I had a couple of things that turned out to be really good plays that I just didn't or wasn't able to play correctly. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I want to start on the daily chart. So this is ES daily chart. And the first thing I wanted to point out was something that I was looking for this morning. When I pulled the chart up this morning, I think we were like flirting around here, in this fair value gap, or maybe a little lower. We had quite a bit of sell-off overnight. So when I pulled up the chart this morning to go through my routine, mark up targets and all that stuff, we were already looking to be coming down into this gap here from the January 23rd Friday candle, that big run up. And the theory here is that you want to look at, if you're thinking, and this is what I was thinking, that it will come into here and bounce up, right? That was the thought. Was not expecting this crazy bounce that we got. But before it happens, and you're thinking that could happen, what you want to do is take a fib. And I have a fib set out just for this, right? You take a fib and you just mark out the gap, right? And I have a fib template that it defaults to, where it will just mark the 50% line. That 50% line is very important in gaps, right? When you're looking at or looking for a candle to come down and bump up and continue up, you really want to look at that 50% line. Now this is something ICT talks about all the time. You'll see that it's actually pretty accurate a lot of the times. And another thing to keep in mind, like yesterday, this case set up, wicks are also considered to be gaps, right? So let's talk about yesterday. You have this candle from Monday, continued this run up from Friday, which fair value gap created here, go up, take out some targets throughout this whole candle, come back down, and take out that big gap, right? Come back down, boom, bounce off that fair value gap, run up, take out more targets up here. The next candle, we tried to push up and actually bounced off of, take our fib again and go to the wick. Bounced off of the 50% line of that wick and then came down, right? So pretty interesting to see. So starting the morning, I'm thinking we come back down here, take out 50%. I had targets all down through the gap and all down through here in case we came all the way back down to this gap. You know, it's something you still want to try to prepare for, because if it does make that move, you want to have some idea of where it could go. But I had a big line in the sand here as something to look out for and see if it bounced, and that's exactly what we did today. So I just thought that was cool. I'll leave that up as we jump in. I'm going to go just straight to the 1 minute. There's a couple of things I want to show on the 1 minute. And really, we had just like one big run today. In the morning, we had some back and forth taking highs and lows. But the one big run, I want to show the setup there. I want to show the catalyst, and I want to show why you could be confident that this rally was going to continue throughout the day. Because I saw a lot of people in chat saying, oh, reversal, grab puts. Oh, it's going to reverse. I even thought at times, you know, I was looking for a reversal, right? But I'll sort of walk through why I never felt confident about a reversal at all. Like all day long, I was thinking, okay, this could happen here. We gotta, you know, see how it plays out. But it never really showed anything significant to point to a reversal and to go back down. And as you see, it didn't. So, but yeah, let's break down the morning a little bit. So once again, this was another one of my bonehead plays, very similar to yesterday, in that I did not get the initial move right. I got the follow-up right, but by then I was already out of the trade and I was in a meeting, so I wasn't able to pay attention and enter. So I actually just took a loss and watched most of the rest of the day. So we open here. You know, as you can tell, we had quite a bit of downside throughout the night, right? This is yesterday, close, big time dump here, chop around. London open, it dumped down, continued until, and I mean, that was a pretty strong, trendy move down. It wasn't violent, but it just worked its way down, right? So we come up to 930. We immediately shoot down. We take out lows. And me being a dummy, went for 39.6450. I had that plotted out, had the gaps, all that stuff. And I said, yes, we're going to do it. 39.6450, right? I actually didn't come in here. I came in here, right? There was a play right here, okay? And this is super similar to yesterday. I mean, I got stopped out almost exactly the same as I did yesterday. So we do this, lows, highs, we start pushing low. I'm 100%, this is amazing. We're gonna hit 39.64. I'm in. 39.6450. We create this gap, right? This gap breaks these equal lows. We come back into the gap, and I'm hooked, right? There was a target here. I would have to go back through all of my progressions to figure out what it was. I believe that might have been top of the gap. And actually, let's just check real quick because that's pretty important. So let's go to the daily. Let's just let's just mark out the top of that gap just so I can be confident in what I'm saying here. Okay, so we mark out the gap there. Midpoint line still intact. Here we go. Yeah, so not exactly top of the gap. This was top of the gap, right? Equal lows here, right from the get-go. Took highs, broke down, gap through those, strong move through the top of the gap. I thought for sure we're hitting the midway point, but we didn't. We decided to make a raid on these highs again. I guess you would call that a swing high, even though I think those are exactly the same high. Yeah, they are. So equal highs, whatever. I mean, clearly it's grabbing more for that move down. So yeah, I was stop loss right here, tagged it and kept going. I wasn't able to re-enter because I was in a meeting. I just set up, I saw this happen. I was heading into the meeting, set the stop loss, set the target, and decided to let it ride, and ended up stopping me out. So bummer. But it did eventually come down and hit the big target here, 39.6450, that 50% line of the big daily gap, which is a potential launching point, right? Now, once again, I'm still in the meeting, and after the fact, once I got out and looked at the chart again, I thought, oh my God, what a beautiful setup. So I'll show it to you here. I wasn't confident to join in at the time that I got out because we had already made a run on some highs here. And, yesterday was fairly choppy. So I was a little worried that we're just chopping around. But, this is a big point, the 50% line of this gap. It launching off and going on a run for the rest of the day should be a reasonable expectation, right? So I should have been a little more confident in that, especially when I saw that we didn't break any rules. I mean, throughout lunch, yeah, it's a little sloppy, but you don't really count that, right? We didn't break any rules, so yeah, I probably should have jumped in at one of these other points that we could jump in. But let's talk about the setup, all right? If you see it, it's pretty obvious. It's one of the cleanest ones you can see. The only thing that you could say, I don't know if that counts, is breaking the swing high, but I would say it definitely does. So let's mark it out. So first thing we're looking for here is a move that is going to break a previous swing high and create a gap, right? So swing high right here, boom, boom, boom. This is 1035 candle. Come down, hit the point, come back up. This is one continuous move all the way up through here. Breaks the swing high, right? Up, 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 up. Do we have a gap? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Now, I will say this. This gap was not picked up by the fair value gap indicator up here, which is very interesting. I don't see that very often, but I have found a couple bugs with it. Anyway, let's put the 1 minute, this is a 1 minute gap, the 1 minute gap template here, right? Look how obvious it is now. Hit a significant target come up, break a swing high, back down into the gap that it was created there. You could say this is the order block as well, or inside the order block. Absolutely beautiful entry condition there. And we take off, right? And throughout this whole thing, we do not have another reversal condition as far as I'm concerned, right? So you could pretty confidently ride this thing out. Now, I wouldn't ride through lunch, put that out there. And let's go ahead and mark lunch out. It's good to know when lunch is. But lucky for you, you didn't need to ride through lunch. You could have sold it here, let lunch do its thing, and bought in pretty much right off the bat once lunch was over. So once again, beautiful movement here. No breaking the rules, right? What are the rules going to be? Creating a swing low, breaking it with some displacement, a gap, right? We don't get that ever. We have periods of it coming back in and, tapping an order block, right? You can say this is the order block. This whole move down comes back and taps it. Same here, move down. You could say that's another order block. We tap it. Strong move up. Never a reversal condition as far as I'm concerned. Close out at lunch, have a nice gain, right? Lunch is over. So here, I was trading scared, to be honest. I didn't take a trade. The setup was there, but my worry was that this candle here would have been followed with a reversal. I mean, when I was looking at it live, and this is the big difference between what I'm doing right now in hindsight and trading it live, right? It's way tougher. Because what I'm thinking here is we didn't do much of grabbing sell side during lunch. We just had a little consolidation wave kind of thing. Nothing convincing either way, I would say. I mean, you could say this is convincing for more upside, right? Like, that's pretty much the only way you could take it. And maybe I should have seen that, but I just didn't see it. We have this order block here, right? We can draw that out. And pull it over. I think I have an order block template. Bullish order block, yeah. I actually don't have a bearish one. So, if you applied the same theory during lunch, we had no strong move with displacement, creating a gap to break a swing low. We do break some swing lows, but it's mainly just piddling around, coming down to this order block, and then takes off again. As soon as lunch ends, we have another setup. We have another setup right here. All right. I saw it. I didn't take it because I was scared. I was scared that it didn't hit into the gap. It did tap the top though, right? But you see, sorry, I didn't have that on the wick. You see, we have this little gap from that powerful move, breaking swing highs, actually breaking this swing high here. So pretty clear. If it would have came into this gap like 50% line, I mean, I would have loved that. I might have been all over it. But my concern is that it was going to create a swing low and break it down with strong displacement and take some sell side. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm doing this review session. Looking back on it, that doesn't make any sense. We took a huge target. What are we going to do? Just take some of this sell side? I mean, we took a ton overnight, and we hit a huge target, a huge reversal jumping off point for the next move up, which is expected on the daily. So I guess I just didn't expect the daily to make such a big move. We made a pretty significant move back up. I thought I would leave more for tomorrow. So that's just me not having enough experience and confidence yet. So anyway, all of this doesn't break rules, right? It's continuing up. I saw a lot of people here say, oh, get puts, oh, we're going down. A lot of people here doing the same thing. I was even thinking it too, especially here. Create a swing low. Pretty strong move. We have a fair value gap, right? We have a little gap there. Right there. Strong move, gap, come back into it. Doesn't continue. This order block here, that one out, right? We have a gap here. It came back into. So this is the difficult part when you're still learning. You don't know yet what is more significant, right? We have a gap here. We actually come through this gap. We come up, we come down, swing low, break through. I'm thinking we're going to take maybe these equal lows here before maybe consolidation or something. We're very high. Live and learn, right? This is why we're studying. That was a strong order block, order block, order block, order block. Strong move, pull back, launching point, pull back into it again. I guess you should just have your bias on the bullish move continuing, right? And we get this very robotic looking step up. Another crush down, but it does break a swing low. It does create a fair value gap again. And I was talking on Discord about this one, saying, look, if we're looking for lows, these look nice here. These previous swing lows, right? Or sorry, equal lows. 40, 16, 50. I was calling it out. Like, hey, just be aware. Just be aware of those. We didn't come back into the gap. That's what made me think maybe we're just going to get more upside. It's just a strong move back into some order blocks here. We have so many. Once again, just need more experience. So hopefully you can learn with me here. Another strongish move with a gap breaking a swing low, right? We do come back, but we come all the way through and we grab highs again, all the way down here. And at this point, it's just not a convincing reversal, right? It's just sort of, there are some strong moves, but it just feels like they're trying to bait into people buying. And you got to remember what time it is too. I was calling that out as I was watching this. It's like, can we get down here to these equal lows? Yeah, probably. Like when we're here, but we didn't hit the gap. We didn't hit the gap. We didn't hit the order block, right? Like we did with that, but not after. I guess we tapped it. It's a tough one, It's a tough one. We did here. So I think it was more of a time thing than anything. making a strong run to knock these out. I thought it was possible, but you know, it ended up just coming back into this order block here. No gap, but obviously it created a good run. Do have a gap here that it came down to create the order block, so that's pretty significant, I guess. Let's pull that gap over. Just want to go through sort of, when I'm looking at the candles and I see things, I want to see how they line up. And isn't that funny? Created two new relative equals right at the top of the gap in that order block. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Sent it off for what ended up being new highs after hours, but really just, you know, taking this high, I guess. Really just stopping the thought of running down on those lows is what it did, right? So yeah, that was my thought process as we were going through today. You know, I was watching the 1 minute. The 5 minute and hour didn't give me much more information other than you know, where it was likely to go. I did pop over, and let's look at the 1 hour just real quick. One big upside target I had was, of course, this candle here, 40.33.25. It looks like 40.33.50. Sorry, and actually, this one here is more significant. So yeah, took those out. Oh, sorry, we actually took those out yesterday, Monday. Yeah, so I think I saw some equal highs that I called out. Oh, it was this one. I mean, this got taken out so long ago, and then that one already took it out anyway. And then we have on the 4 hour, we have some relative equals here. So Monday took out. Yeah, that's all from last week. So I was calling out some targets. I can't really remember what they were right at this moment, but the main thing that I was looking at, I had some targets from gaps and stuff like that, but the main thing to just keep in mind, this setup, this target down here that we hit in the morning, and this setup for the run, I mean, that was so great. That was just such a great setup. I'm really disappointed I couldn't participate in it. And then we just never really broke the rules, right, for reversal. So it gets a little nervy, but I feel like with enough time and experience with learning ICT, you should be able to look at this as the play is going along, bring your stop loss up to reasonable levels as it's going, and ride it for quite a while. And if you look at, you know, when I evaluated it a little bit before, I was looking at, hey, if you get this entry and you ride it all the way till its final destination, on one contract on the ES, I think it was something like $2,800. I mean, that's amazing. It was 77 handles, whatever that equates to. 77 times 50, whoever wants to do the math. That's amazing. That's an amazing run. If you can just get little pieces of it. amazing. Plenty of opportunity. Just need more time and experience with the chart and watching this type of price action, and I think it's definitely possible. So yeah, I think that's enough for now. I hope you guys liked the review, and as always, let me know if there's anything I missed or any comments or logic that you think that I didn't get right. Please feel free to correct me. The whole point of this process of making YouTube videos, is just to journal my education journey, right? Like, I'm definitely not an expert. I'm only a couple months into learning ICT. I'm a couple years into day trading, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing before, so it doesn't really count. Couple months into ICT, so I'm just looking to journal my education journey, and hopefully some people can join in, and we can all grow together. So, fun day, good learning experience. We'll keep it up, and hopefully we'll get some success someday. All right, hope you enjoyed. Bye.